In this video, you'll learn how to fruit and harvest. You'll need a humidifier, a hygrometer thermometer, an X-Acto knife, isopropyl alcohol, gloves, a basket, a fan and heater, a tent, and garden timers. Once your sawdust bags are fully myceliated, it's time to move them into the fruiting area. Shiitake mushrooms get covered partly in brown, but most other mushroom species should be completely white. Now that you're in your fruiting area, introduce the mushroom blocks to oxygen to tell them it's time to grow. For shiitake and turkey tail, you remove the bags completely and the mushrooms fruit all over the block. For king trumpet mushrooms, you just open the jar or the bag. But for most mushrooms, you will want to make a cut as they grow in clusters. Cut a hole with an X-Acto knife above the filter patch and press all the air out while wrapping the top of the bag so that it sits underneath the block. Cut 2 small X's into the top of the bag, making sure not to cut into the mycelium too deep. You are trying to direct the mushrooms towards an oxygen source, but sometimes they don't always want to grow where you want them to. In order for mushrooms to fruit, they need to have the right humidity levels, temperature, and airflow. They get all of this naturally when they're outside, but if you're growing them inside, you need to monitor and adjust accordingly. This humidifier is running for a total of 2 hours per day in 15-minute increments throughout the day to maintain 95% humidity. Having a bucket you connect it to means you can refill it once or twice a week. The heater is only turned on in the colder months to try to maintain around 70 degrees and is also on a timer. When you don't have a heater, it's good to have a fan to provide the needed airflow. After a week or so, you should have some mushrooms growing, and it's time to harvest. Mushrooms are ready to harvest at different times. Oysters are generally ready before their caps start curling up. Shiitakes are ready right after their cap separates from the stem. Lion's mane are ready when their teeth are around half a centimeter. Spray your hands or tool down with isopropyl alcohol depending on what you're using. Gently pinch the mushroom at its base and rock back and forth to get it loose and pull it off the block. But try not to pull a lot of sawdust block with it. You can also cut near the base. Place in your basket and keep harvesting. If you see leftover mushroom, make sure to remove it as best you can so it doesn't mold and contaminate. Once you're done, bring your mushrooms inside for processing. Store mushrooms in paper bags and never plastic so they can keep longer. You can also dehydrate them for later or for making medicine. Or you can save one of your mushrooms and start the whole process over again.